Good good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is your host, Christopher Malcolm Curtis Bowen, on edition of Fire of Liberty. Another episode of Fire of Liberty. It is March 11th, I believe, 2017. March 12th. March 12th, 2017. It's incredibly important that we, of course, not let up the support for U.S. Constitution and for liberty, for the good elements in our government and in our society and in the world. Those important fighters that are out there doing their job on the front lines, etc., etc. We not only need to understand how important that is, especially paving history, making history, and paving the way for the future. Instead of just kind of, it's important to be involved, and everybody is involved. What is also very, very key is the fact that, we kind of have to know where we're going, which is great. I mean, how can we trailblaze into this area? How can we see through all the how can we simplify exactly what's going on in this area, and how we can support ourselves, how can we support freedom and liberty. And what's very key is, the big picture is just kind of knowing how these interlocking parts fit into the mix. And so what I'm really trying to get at is, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but is to ultimately go into a Type 1 civilization. Because as, those who know what I'm talking about, and those that are well informed, the globalist elites, they try to suck the money out of not only other countries, but they try to suck money out of America, and they're trying to keep all the wealth and all their power that they had. I mean, from many different areas, from unnecessary government programs that they started, from Obamacare to pharmaceutical companies, to medical tyranny, to carbon taxes, to taxes on climate structure, and a bunch of other stuff that is screwing over the little person. What is, of course, the great, awesome solution is, we can literally just step out of this, in a sense. And of course, this is no offense to those the builders and the engineers that made this, but we need to step out of this 18th, 19th century period. We need to stop using candles, stop using horse carriages, and really go on to the next thing. Start truly industrializing. Now that means we have to all be working for the good things, and all that's going to be tried to be done by globalists and by tyrants and by they're trying fascistic manipulation and all that stuff. We need to not only work together and be united, as being demonstrated by the great leaders around the world, positive leaders for liberty and freedom, like Le Pen and Roger Stone and et cetera, all these great guys. We know who they are, and they definitely have hats tipped off to them, and then some. I mean, of course, the reward is going to be extraordinarily huge when you get to this other side of it. It's going to be legendary, and it's going to be it's going to be beyond anything we could possibly imagine, because it's going to be the absolute work paid off into the shining, beautiful brilliance and attractiveness that will be the true Americana, the true beautiful renaissanceistic beauty of Drug Ghost, of Renaissance. Like, this golden age will literally be shining, and we will shine like never before, because we are learning how to develop ourselves basically into a Type 1 civilization, and then eventually into a Type 2. And that, of course, requires us stepping out into this box that we try and hold on to, or this box that we can step out of, because we are no longer basically giving our power to these elites who think that they still have it. It's a very positive change into the entirely new way we can create society, view society, and live in society, and have life. And I've said this before. Once again, it seems it's really clear to understand this type of transition because I know exactly what kind of fits these puzzle pieces and how this works, and just how history cannot be repeated by making these wonderful, positive, actual great changes. And what does that mean? Type 1 civilization involves using that next level energy, which is not fossil fuels. Of course, who's in control of the major fossil fuels? Mostly those illegal, or the elite, corrupt, illegal, massive criminals, and just really bad people. We can literally just unplug from that, in a sense, just step out of that area, that zone, and just be free, be absolutely free by being totally self-sufficient with technologies and energy systems that are hundreds and hundreds of times more efficient, more effective, more powerful, faster, better, and stronger than this current candle system. That's what I call it. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna call it. It's a candlelight system, and we don't need to keep using wax and having these wicks and just lighting candles and just saying, oh, this dim light is the best that we can get. We can really let's get that next level, which is the living stone. Let's start using that. Let's start using really, like what I've talked about a lot is crystal technologies. Let's use those things to power ourselves, to be powered by actual true innovation, true energy, by true existence, and that is beneficial to everybody. Obviously it's going to absolutely end all poverty and famine, and everybody's going to be, and that's the thing, that's why the elites are so scared, because they're not going to be on top. Everybody's going to basically be completely just absolutely capable. Like, everybody's going to be living in a sustainable, stable, and excellent environment. It'll be a renaissance. It would be kind of like an elimination of a class system. Not necessarily elimination, but it's gonna make the middle class so strong. That's what vitality will bring to the entire planet, actually. And so that's kind of the steps that we're going through. So to really break down what I'm talking about, and to really break down to the sources of what provides healing and stuff, to every form and facet of our government, of our society, of our culture, is the learning of developing ourselves, which is important. Developing ourselves into having this energy, which is going to bring us into a Type 1 civilization, like a civilization that has enough energy to power the entire planet. That's what's going to happen. Like, states will have so much energy output, they'll be able to power an entire country, entire planet from their energy sources alone. And that'll be all over the world, all over the planet. That's a Type 1 civilization for energy. Same thing with healing. Once again, it'll be at the next level, because we'll, one, be out of tyranny and medical tyranny, and two, we'll be able to be a renaissanistic health age. So once again, we step out of this candle living and live into this actual age of real progress and freedom and liberty to do grander things. Of course, it's going to be so great, of course, that everybody agrees with it, except for the elitist globalists who are already losing, failing. It's the force of liberty, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that's winning. And it's being informed and being strong for yourselves and for your country, and for the spirit of liberty, and that's really indestructible. And that's gonna, once again, we have better healing, faster healing, stronger human beings, and stronger vitality that exists. So, I mean, once again, that's totally next level. we're going to be able to do things we weren't able to even do before. Not only is everybody is going to be like an Olympian level, but we will develop so many new ways, better ways to get stronger, stay healthy, and provide vitality back to the world. Once again, it's next level. It's renaissanistic in itself. And that's going to affect, of course, culture, the restaurants, how we eat food, how we interact with each other, how we communicate. It's going to affect everything. Transportation, and that's the other thing. Transportation, combined with both of those things, is going to be an absolutely new renaissanistic change that is huge. That is, I mean, the way athletes, for example, use bikes is going to be, next level. The way we use this new type of imagination, production, innovation into the products that we make from, like we'll be so strong. Like we'll be having certain things that don't necessarily aren't powered by by our effort, but require a lot of strength and a lot of focus and flexibility and dexterity, like what's a good example? Like for lack of a better example, a bicycle. But some of the designs, for example, are going to be a zero-point energy craft, a hovercraft of a sort, but more of an anti-gravity craft, like a massless craft. And so that's gonna we're gonna be able to use that really quickly and travel through the air, basically an air bicycle in a sense, like an air cycle, like an air transporter. And then we're going to have to develop our bodies to be able to spin, twist, bob, sway through the air, glide through the air, fly through the air, basically learning how to fly, therefore opening up a whole new brain pattern, brain thought of how we can develop ourselves and enter into this realm of Renaissance. And once again, that's going to translate into how we interact with each other and our environment, our parks, our restaurants, our hotels, our establishments, our buildings, our companies. It's going to once again transport everything. That's what the wonderful thing about 2017 is that's what this is. It's the very beginning of that epic age to being basically entering this new decade where we can use our imagination to co-create this beautiful basic paradise. And this Renaissance or Golden Age is a wonderful fruition to this, and a wonderful foundation to this paradise. So, and we can make it. We're making it right now. That's real. It's real as real. It's real. Real as can be. What's also important is the fact that it just has to be known. Like, the globalists don't want to stop, but they invested so much into this. So it's exciting. Once again, it's incredibly positive and it's incredibly efficient that we are able to do this, and that it can be any age, and just being informed about it is a great start. And what would make it happen even faster, accelerate it even quicker, is if we ask for help. If we ask for help from our peaceful, advanced civilization brethren, the Garthans, which I've mentioned so many times. I mean, just to describe them a little bit, they're incredibly friendly, incredibly smart. They're spiritually enlightened because they develop telepathy. They have telepathy. They're incredibly strong. They're some 7 feet in Telos. Some of them are 5 feet, 6 feet. In certain Garthan cities, they're 7, 8 feet. Some are 10. Some are 12 feet. 12 feet in Shambhala. They have crystal cities. They have crystal healing technology. They have more amazing high quality food. They have this ability to make any type of food with soy, out of soy products, but it's a very, very advanced understanding of soy compared to us, our use of soy. They can create any type of food and make it taste just like the real thing, except it's not, they're not actually having to kill an animal in the process. But it tastes just as good. I mean, it tastes better. you can create however you want to create it. And the very way they gather food and make food is very entertaining, exciting process in itself. And that's what makes food very fun. And I mentioned something like that before, like a restaurant made out of food, just for example, would be a great example because, it's so abundance. That's the other thing. They live in abundance. I think I just mentioned this, but the cities are crystal cities, crystal houses. Dome houses, of course, they can withstand any type of weather structure, but at the same time, we know this weather technology, they live in a 72-degree weather all the time. It's perfect weather. We can basically do that with weather technology, which is going to be basically handed back to the people, and then we'll be in charge of promoting the best possible ecosystem for our life, for our planet. Same thing with a little bit talking more about the Agarthians. They're of course they've mastered physical immortality, so they live hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. Some of them. Adama is 400,000 years old, over 400,000 years old in our terms. They view life completely differently. Of course, they don't see as years old. They see it as how many times they've been around the sun, which is exactly true. So Mycos, is the guardian of Pythagoras Library. Library is a very advanced library, which I mentioned before that they have. In Agartha is a multi-dimensional library, crystal slides where you can learn stuff. That's what our libraries are going to model. Because that's a great model. Galactic Society, Shambhala is a great model of a Galactic Society, which is what we're building, which is what I'm also building, which is what we do as people, as we the people, we build stuff and make it better. Transportation, they have incredibly fast EMVs that they wrap around mountains, electromagnetic vehicles, electromagnetic trains wrap around mountains, and they don't require any energy, and they're incredibly fast, thousands of miles per hour, in fact. There's tunnel systems all throughout the Earth that go to and from Hollow Earth that have been there in existence. Our government is aware of it, and it's going to be revealed for the grand public to know about. What else? A little bit more about Agartha. Their water is alive with consciousness, like their water is conscious. It sings. They have fountains that sings to them, and it heals your body. It puts it in right vibration, energy. Obviously, this is very exciting stuff, and I'm actually very excited to announce this. But I'll do this every day, and I'm just telling the truth because it's awesome. That's what we need to know about, because and of course the Garden of Eden is there. There's Ascended Masters that are there. The water reminded me of something about their Garden of Eden. Which is written in the Bible, the Garden of Eden is the same one. Full of every single plant life on Earth, in one condensed spot. Every animal is there, and it's incredibly peaceful. It's paradisical, and it's a real place. It's just right there, and we can go there. It's pretty cool. So, of course, it's an understatement. Pretty cool. That would be a miraculous. But that's the thing that makes what we do so exciting, is we can build a bridge pretty much to that, to get there, to make that happen. And it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it really pays off. It's worth it. It's worth creating paradise on earth, and it's a good feeling to do. And it's something, once you find this out, once you know about this, you realize, there's these, for example, these globalist elites that want tyranny. They're not even in the way, in a sense. Honestly, when you're as informed as I am, which is why I do these podcasts and these radio shows to help explain this process, but pretty much just to bypass it, but not only to bypass it, but continue to fight hard, because it's already bypassed. So yes, we could go at the same pace and still win, but now that's not necessarily what we should do. If we're making history, we should make it as fast as possible. So that's why it is important that we can do it by ourselves. But if we ask for help, it can happen even faster. Then therefore, we can go visit other planets and, do spectacular things, go to space and build spacecraft. And, just like we have car industries, car dealerships, space dealerships, spacecraft dealerships, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, real new industry that's better, way better. I mean, talking about Renaissance here. So I wanted to explain that, talk about that, and that's a wonderful, great health benefit that we have on planet Earth. And so now this is what we can do. This is what we can make. This is what is going on. I mean, this is the epic life that we're living in, that we're able to experience. So that's the way it is. I mean, that's the way we can make it. I mean, we can make things. We can totally change the world, and that's what we're doing. So, as we change the world, we could create better, amazing paradises, and of course, this goes on and on and on. And life is so much better than we could possibly imagine. Let me rephrase that. Life is really great, and it's even better than we could possibly imagine. It's amazing. So, I'm your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, and we co-create Paradise, supporting liberty and freedom, and we actually are the great leaders that trailblaze into this age of infinite wisdom, into space and beyond. So, great to be of service, great to be on the right side of history, great to lead the way, and great to, just be alive and do all this wonderful change. I'm very humble, but I'm very eager. Very, very eager to develop my character and to make this planet the greatest place ever. Of course, I'm for humanity, and that's why I will never stop. Because I know freedom, victory, and, the right thing, leading this right way and trailblazing is awesome. So, thank you all for your support, I guess. And we are the winners, the victors, and this is this is only the beginning. This is your host, Christopher Bowen. Have a good afternoon and a good day, ladies and gentlemen.